much for joining me today. I'm doing a video to show you guys how I wear Cashmere Velveteen from Limecrime. My hair is just so frizzy right now. And I bought this not knowing that it was such a craze right now. I heard about it from my friend Letitia Laura here on YouTube. I'll link her channel down below so you guys can go find her. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna buy cashmere. And I was like, what is that? And then she told me where it was from, so I looked it up and it looked nice, but I wasn't sure. I thought it would not work for me at all. So I was really unsure, but then I said, okay, whatever, I'm gonna get it. And I guess that I got it before it sold out everywhere, and now it's like the thing apparently. But this is what I've been wearing in all of my recent Instagram pictures and on a few of my recent videos, and you guys keep asking like, what is that? How are you wearing it? Etc, etc. Is a wearable for darker skin tones. So I have that on right now. I'm going to show you guys a couple ways that I have made this wearable for me, because by itself I didn't find it quite so wearable, but I think that if you guys are even a little bit lighter, you might be able to pull it off. And this is, I want to say $20. If not, I'm going to write the price up here. And I got it from limecrime.com. A lot of you guys have asked where to get this from. I'm pretty sure they ship internationally, and no, they don't have any stores, so I don't think you're going to be able to see this in store. I also wanted to let you guys know what this is. This is basically a longwear lipstick that, you know, all these companies are coming out with. Kat Von D came out with so many that basically instantly sold out. Anastasia just came out with a few. You know, MAC Pro or MAC has always had them as well. So this is definitely the rage right now, like this sort of formula, which basically is a liquid lipstick. It goes on like a lip gloss, but it stays on like a lipstick, and even longer because it's supposed to not really come off your lips throughout the course of the day. And I think there's such a huge difference in formula now with these types of products and when they're from before, because the only longwear lipsticks that I've ever used before were the MAC ones, and I never liked the formula of those. I really feel like those slipped and slid, and it was uncomfortable to me. I didn't like them. So then my newest longwear lipstick was the Kat Von D Vampira, and I love the formula of that. So since I realized now that, you know, things are changing, these are getting better, I figured, okay, let me go ahead and pick this up and see what this is about. So in terms of how this is, it's actually very liquidy, much more so than Vampira, and much more so than any other liquid lipstick that I've ever used. Do you guys see how liquidy that is? So I was really surprised, but I think that also, I mean, it is still pretty opaque for sure, but I feel like it's not quite as opaque as the other longwear lipsticks that I've used before in my life. And you guys will sort of see as I put this on in the video that it's not quite as opaque as the other ones, which in a way make it a little bit more forgiving to wear and not look like you've just painted your lips gray for the most part. This definitely has a gray undertone, but it's also a bit mauve too. So I definitely see those two colors. I don't think it's the normal quintessential nude that a lot of people are wearing, because it doesn't really have a lot of pink to it, which I think tends to be, you know, the easiest to wear on us darker girls, as well as people in general. Like, I feel like nudes go either in the peach spectrum or the pink spectrum, but this definitely has a gray undertone to it, which makes it a little bit more difficult. In terms of wearing on my lips, I feel like, one, it feels really, really light when you put it on. It's very comfortable to wear, completely matte, and I love the formula of it because it's so lightweight. It doesn't feel like anything on my lips. However, I feel like because it's so lightweight and because it's so thin in consistency, that it's not quite as long wearing as my other liquid lipsticks that I've ever used. However, I will say I've never used a nude liquid lipstick, so maybe that has something to do with it. I've used a lot of like dark colors, and so those, even if they wear off a little bit, you can still sort of see some color. However, this, I feel like when it wears off in patches, not even necessarily in the center. Like, I'll see it wearing off on the sides and it sort of becomes blotchy, and then after a while I've noticed that it can sometimes give me that white line on the inside. Not even a white line, but a sort of like crustier look to it. So not a huge fan of that. So I feel like this doesn't last as long as the other pro longwear liquid lipstick types of things. So that is my quick review. And if you guys want to see how I wear this, then keep watching. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what cashmere looks like without anything on first, so you guys can see how that looks on me and if that is something that you guys like. So that is what it looks like without anything. It's going to continue to dry, but if you guys notice, I do have a darker brown line to my lips. Everyone's lips are going to be darker on the rim. That sort of can look like lip liner, but overall, I still feel like this looks not like I'd want it to look. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. It has actually dried already, so you guys can see how fast that dried. It's a really comfortable wear also. What I'm going to go ahead and do is show you guys the first way to make this one work with lip liner. So I'm going to use Barbecue Lip Liner by MAC. You can use any dark brown really. So this is a pretty dark brown. And I'm doing this because brown I feel like can work even when you have put this on first. And anyway, lip liner, you can use it before or after and kind of both also if you need to. But since it matches my lip line the closest, then I'm going to go ahead and use this after. So I'm just feathering it in. Like, you want to hold your pen at an angle. I always say pen, your liner at an angle. And do just the corners first to see if that's enough for you, because that's going to bring back a lot of dimension. Since it is dry, obviously it is harder to move because it's dried matte. But that is one way to wear this. If you like this sort of look, it does show the liner more than the other ones I'm about to show you guys, but it is still pretty neutral. I feel like this sort of keeps your color on and looking the most true to form, like true to cashmere in the actual bottle. So that is one way. And so I'm going to show you guys also how to wear barbecue with this again, but if you were to put this on before. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with barbecue. I'm still feathering it the exact same way. So I always suggest making the corners darker just because that gives your lips the most amount of dimension. And when you have these long wear types of lipsticks that go into the corners and there's no darkness there, your lips can look really dead. So I really suggest doing that. So if you guys notice, I've made it darker on the corners, but I haven't really done much up here. And that's exactly the way that I like to wear most lip liners. And so now we're going to go in with cashmere. Okay, so now that it's dry, this is what it looks like. So this is if you wanted that brown nude lip. So as you guys can see from far, this is what it looks like. You can still see the lip liner, but as you guys can see, it just looks like dimension, as opposed to somebody looking at your lips and saying, okay, that looks like you've outlined your lips and you have a lipstick in the center. It kind of all melts together. Alright, next I'm going to show you what this looks like with plum lip liner if you want to get that sort of mauve-y look, which I think is usually what people like in nude lipstick. So this is Plum by MAC. We've got our plum lip liner. So this is what that looks like with plum. This is one of my favorite ways to wear it. I think that the mauve undertone definitely makes it look really, really wearable. So this is with plum lip liner. Next we have Whirl, which is how I've been wearing it pretty much every single day, and that is how you guys have seen me wear it in all of my recent videos and Instagram posts. If you guys do not own this, you need to. It's that good. I really like how it's actually like a pinky color, but it doesn't look like that when you actually look at it. So here is Whirl and Cashmere. This is definitely my absolute favorite. I love how this looks, and you guys can have like kind of like a darker eye. Actually, no, it's still gold, but this is what my typical everyday lip is, or has been at least since I've gotten cashmere in. And my very last way to wear this, and I want to show you guys, is that you can definitely put on a lipstick and then put this on also. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with Whirl since I've been using that every day. And then I'm using Verve by MAC, which actually by itself looks like that. I'm just dabbing this on. I'm not gonna go ahead and do like my whole lip like I normally would a lipstick. So Verve by itself I think is so pretty, but I love how it looks when I put Cashmere on top. So with Cashmere, just so you guys know, there's so much product in here that I literally wipe off like all of this because that much comes out in the doe foot applicator. And I like to build as I go, especially because these are matte, and so when you put it on in layers, I think it looks better than when you just smear it on at one time. So this is Cashmere with Verve. This is also super, super pretty. Oh, I'm kind of liking this more than the Whirl. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful to you because I want to show you guys that I know nude lips are sort of difficult for some people, and I actually have a very close friend who is very close to my skin color and just hates nude lips and finds they're so unwearable. So honestly, if you have a good few lip liners, you can make any color wearable. So I wanted to show you guys how to make this one wearable for you guys because I sort of felt like just by itself it was a bit too gray and therefore unwearable for me. I hope you guys learned something helpful, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!